All right, and we're live. Welcome back to another edition of the Industry Insider, your promotional products podcast where you can get all the nerdy news you need to know about. My name is Jeff Franklin, National Accounts Manager at Hidware USA, and joined today by three other lovely folks. We'll get to them in just a second, but I've got a quick bit of information for you. Our sponsor this week is TechWeld USA, and they're USA made in a world filled with worry regarding overseas products. They offer many USA made products to help separate themselves from the promotional pack. Hand sanitizers due to coronavirus outbreak. This is something that is trending worldwide, obviously, with CDC recommending sanitizers and washing your hands to help prevent the spread of the disease. They have many sanitizer SKUs that help or that could help combat the spread of the virus. So be sure to visit them at techweld.com for more information. Meg Erber, why don't you say hi to the folks first?
Hey, everybody.
S&S Activewear, obviously. Our favorite Meg Erber, as we've called her in the past.
Yep.
And Stephen McFadden, Perfect Promotions and More. How are you?
Doing well. Hello.
Awesome. How's North Carolina?
It's good. It's actually unseasonably hot.
Yeah.
It's been like 94 plus or 93 plus. I feel like every day the last couple weeks.
But it is almost mid-July. Are you sure that's unseasonably warm?
No, it doesn't feel like July yet.
July. In 2 weeks would be mid-June.
Well,
so
in 2 weeks,
2 weeks ago,
mid-June.
it started being that.
Well, I mean, it's July 8th now, and you got to remember, some of our audience actually listens to the audio portion of this podcast, which would be broadcast on Monday. So we're getting pretty close.
Always right, and like
I just got to, we're close.
Well.
And then we're joined today also by an amazing person in the promotional products industry, much accoladed and achieved professional Roger Burnett with Social Good. And we've got a lot of things to talk about for sure today. So it's action packed, and we're going to try to keep it within the 25 to 30 minute time frame. But Roger, why don't you say hi to everybody and just sort of give us maybe a 2 to 3 minute brief background about your history in the industry and maybe sort of how you've been handling the situation in the last 4 or 5 months.
Ooh. Well, the first thing you should know about me is asking me to do anything in 2 to 3 minutes is nearly impossible, but
All right, I'll give you 3 to 4.
Egg knows that better.
Well, hey, we cut down the TechWell commercial today from 6 to 30 seconds. So I think it looks promising.
We're already ahead of the game. So my career dates back to 2005 in the industry. I've been in sales, however, since 1995. So I've been selling since before the internet was a thing.
What'd you do before promo?
Sales. I sold office equipment for a while. Got my start in copy machines. You know, you think people say trinkets and trash gets a black eye. Imagine being the copier salesperson. That's a lot of fun. But I got a lot of really great training in that process. And when I moved from printing products to the actual output, I moved into print. And it was during that time as a print sales rep that we had about $25-30 million in a category called miscellaneous. And when we dug into that category, it was high margin promotional products business that we said, well, this looks like we should have a division of our company. And so we became what ultimately became $100 million promotional products distributor as Workflow One. We were number 13 for a good 2 or 3 years. And then I have the good fortune, well, I don't know if you call it good fortune, but an interesting twist in the story is I worked for Workflow One twice. So
I remember that.
I got let go once, and then the people who let me go got let go. And then the people who came in behind the people who got let go said, hey, you should have never got rid of that guy, hired me back. And a few years later, they eliminated the entire division of the company. So I got fired by the same company twice. Good to see some of you try that. And then I also worked on the supplier side for iClick. I worked for iClick. We started a new division of that organization called iClick Decorate, which was
I remember that.
We recognized as promotional products distributors that a 2 PO decorated apparel order was difficult for a lot of systems within the promotional products industry. So consequently, there wasn't as much apparel sales as one would have expected. The bigger the company got, the more difficult it became. So Jonathan Irvin and I saw an opportunity based on what we had seen at Workflow One, and we went to iClick with that idea. And that was quickly thwarted by some other suppliers out there who decided that, hey, we should screen print t-shirts too and do it on a single PO. So, but we were ahead of our time. And then I worked for Branded Logistics. Jonathan Irvin and I actually founded that company, and that's they represent the OtterBox line of outdoor products for the promotional products industry. And you can purchase directly from Branded Logistics, or you can actually source OtterBox Outdoor through Gold Bond and HIT. So but he's also expanded his product line. So he's got a lot of electronics accessories and things like that. So I helped grow the sales line for that organization. And then it was because of that time that then the whole Promo Cares thing happened and my whole life changed. But I think we're going to talk about that a little bit.
So basically, if you bought a promotional product in this industry, chances are that Roger's
had his hands on it.
Roger's had his hand on it.
Well, I think what we'll recognize and what Social Good Promotions really represents is like, I have a tendency to start on things that are ahead of their time,
Yep.
not stick them out long enough to see any success because of it. And I'm not going to let that happen this time. So
Awesome.
Well, I've been reading all the stuff that you've been doing, and it's super inspiring. And Roger, I've known you for so long, and we've always had this friendship where we might not see each other for a year or two, and then we just see each other, and it's like, man, I miss this man. You're just a good person, and being around you and your positive energy. And when I saw that you were doing Promo Cares and your new business and everything, it's just so exciting. I'm really happy for you. It's really. I just love seeing good people do good things and really make an impact in this industry and in the world. And I'm really proud of you. I think back in even 2014, you had reached out to me about doing some mentorship. Like, I think you were doing it before it was even cool. So, yeah.
Well, that was, I was the mentorship chair for Promo Kitchen for 2 years. So a lot, and like Johanna, who's running Promo Cares now, like I met her through the mentorship program, and she was the second interview I ever did on the So You're in Sales podcast. And that's been going for over 3 years now. So
that's amazing. That's awesome.
These relationships run deep, but you know
They
what?
do.
So, right.
I just want to reply to what you said to me, Meg, because one, you made me blush. My ears are burning because of you complimenting me, which is like, that's weird. Thank you.
Oh.
But on the other hand, like what I want everyone listening to think about is that this is a time of profound sadness for a lot of people. And I feel like what we're doing to spread joy and happiness has never, ever, ever been more important than it is right now. And it is, I feel the weight of what's going on in the world. And I feel like it is absolutely my responsibility. And we have one of the sub brands that we have within Social Good Promotions is the notion of being a goodness warrior, #goodness warrior. And the idea is like, if you believe that doing good things is worth standing up for, then you're a goodness warrior too. And we need people really to recognize and identify with the need to make a conscious decision to stand up for good right now, because it is crazy out there what's going on. And,
It really is.
And so
you're my spirit animal, Roger.
And so for me, like, I feel like it's 100% my responsibility to make sure that the stories that are being told through Promo Cares, like, that should never cease to exist, because even more than the fact that it helps elevate our medium, the perception of the promotional products industry, by showing the connection between how what we do activates good and all of these suppliers in our marketplace who have all of these give back things already built into what we do. But that we like the notion of good over evil is 100% on the table right now. And so it's what gets me out of bed in the morning, and I don't even feel like it's work, because I'm happy doing what I'm doing, but I also recognize how important it is too.
That's awesome. So yeah, Meg, you beat me to it already. I was going to say, let's get a #goodness warrior in the chat.
I got it.
from everybody listening. Come on. #goodness warrior for sure.
Let's check it out.
Spread this.
So literally what we do is we take promotional products, we brand it Goodness Warrior, we put it out on our site, and then we encourage people to purchase these various products, and each of the different products supports a different nonprofit, and 100% of the proceeds go directly to that nonprofit. So we only have the sticker right now and a t-shirt, and the program is relatively new, but we're seeking ways to get more nonprofits involved, and there's some really fun things in our future that have been the result of what's just been happening that I'm going to have a lot of fun talking to people about in the months that are coming. But just the idea, right, of like standing up for goodness. It's a basic principle, but it's important.
Absolutely. So definitely getting some hashtag goodness warriors in the chat. So thank you guys for that. And Steven, so I know Roger, I'm not sure. Steven is he's a sous chef with Promo Kitchen. So there's a connect for you, Steven.
Nice.
So I know you guys hadn't
it's
met
great.
or talked prior to this, but there's a good little connection for you. Roger was in the very early stages of that. So that's awesome.
I guess instead of saying pre-internet, I'm gonna have to say I've been selling pre-TikTok or
There you
something.
go.
I don't know what the
Maybe TikTok. Oh gosh.
TikTok's
I am old.
TikTok's in the news right now too.
I
actually.
heard.
You guys
I just-
heard about that.
I literally just got a text message about it. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't looked at it now.
Yeah.
so
saying
it's
being banned.
It's a Chinese social media app,
Yeah.
and you know, with China taking over Hong Kong or whatever, they're talking about maybe banning TikTok in the United States.
Oh, I'd love to have
because
my
of
kids off of
privacy
there. I
and
don't
stuff
think
like
it's
that,
a good
so.
avenue. A lot of child
Yep.
predators. Sorry.
So Roger, I know you've also while we've pumped you up and you've been able to pump yourself up a little bit, we've got some good juju flowing. I know you've co-authored or helped with a book as well. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah. So I don't know, have you guys ever, the three of you, ever participated in a book launch? Like, have you been on a book launch team?
No.
No
It is-
clue.
I'm sure it takes a lot of work. I can't
I'm
even
gonna
imagine.
learn today.
I'm gonna get my notebook. Hold on. Let me get my
So-
notebook.
So I've had the good fortune, because of my co-author, to understand in much the same way that social media, like if you want anything that you're doing from a content perspective to get some legs, you need some friends. And you need to have those friends know what's going on in advance and agree to participate with your content in a way that will allow it to get the reach that it needs, right? And most people have a set it and forget it kind of mentality. Like, they don't recognize and realize that, like, if you really want to get the numbers that you're looking for, you have to go ask people to help you. Social media still is about people and person-to-person connections, right? So these book launch teams, this is John Gordon. I mean, he's written a bajillion books, right? I don't know if you're familiar with him as an author. This is a great book. It's brand new. It's called The Garden. And it's literally a discussion about good versus evil. So it's a very timely book. But they asked me, because they've seen me be in other of these pre-launch things, if I wanted an advanced copy of the book for free. And in exchange, you have to write a review and, say what you really think about it. But they give you a promotional product. You get a challenge coin that has
cool.
some of the principles that are based on the book. And it's meant to sit on your desk and be a reminder of what you learned in the process of reading this book. Interesting use of a promotional product to reinforce the message, right? So I've participated in countless number of these. And for everyone listening, what I'm hoping is that you will all participate with me by virtue of this invitation that I'm giving you. Because on August 5th, electronically, Stan Phelps and I, who co-authored a version of his book, Red Goldfish, which is all about purpose in marketing, which I was turned on to Stan by my good friend, Danny Rosen, who is my co-founder in Promo Cares. And it was because of my relationship with...
We don't know him.
Oh, Stan, he's a powerhouse.
We had him on a couple weeks ago.
He was our first special guest live.
Oh yeah, he
ever.
was. That wasn't
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So how cool, right? So here, and Stan's like, hey, Roger, like, I've watched what you've done with Promo Cares. Would you be interested in doing a longer form version of the stories that you've been able to unearth in a written form with me? I am so thrilled to get to coattail on Stan. He's written 12 books. I mean, he's been a best-selling author on a few occasions here, and that man has traveled the world speaking about how businesses can make small changes in different ways in order to get better results, in order to have more employee satisfaction, like all the stuff he talked to you guys about. And purpose, which Danny, if Danny could have or on his gravestone, it should say, purpose is the 5th P of marketing. Danny believes in that so fervently that really it was the impetus behind what created Promo Cares. Because when I was working for Branded Logistics, we didn't have enough of a marketing budget for me to actually move the needle as a supplier. And so I was kind of lamenting to Danny, like, how am I going to do this? Because we don't have any money. And he said, well, which supplier does the most good? And of course, the answer is Sanmar. But what we recognized was there was really not an easy number 2 answer, or at all maybe a number 3 answer. So that's kind of how the whole thing got started. So for it to end up in a book, and people, if you participate with me in this launch electronically, what you're going to find out is this book, this Red Goldfish Promotional Products Edition, is chock full of stories of all of our peers in the industry and the ways that they're making the world
I
a
love
better
it.
place.
Go through the
using-
list of a couple of them because they're some of my favorite people in the industry. Go ahead,
Well,
name drop. Come on,
yeah.
just a couple.
Every one of the Promo Cares board. So Tony Wavering, Denise Taschereau, Danny Rosen, Mandy Rudd, David Schultz, Ryan.
They are our favorites.
All made this Promo Cares t-shirts are all made t-shirts. They always
Yep.
have them.
I've got one of those shirts.
Obviously it's on brand, right? So Ryan Moore, I mean, literally the book is just chock full. Charity Gibson, shocking, right? Threads of Hope, right?
We don't know her either.
So there's, you know, everybody that's doing all of the things that you would mentally correlate as being in this lane are in this book, people. So we can collectively, by virtue of we really get some momentum behind when this thing releases, we can get it out there beyond just our own industry and into the marketing lexicon of people recognizing that if we actually can convince people that when they activate a purchase of a promotional product, that something good in the world happens, we might get that dollar that we're not getting right now.
Hey, Roger, is there going to be a print version that releases after the digital?
September.
Okay.
Yep.
September. Okay.
We'll have a September release where we'll actually do an event around it as well.
Oh, great.
August release will
Fun.
be a soft release. So if we can use that month to get this momentum going within the industry by the time the book actually comes out, we should legit have it be a thing.
So
So
how
I
can-
think,
how- Go ahead, Steven.
I was just going to say, I think, you know, it brings up a great point. You know, we go into customers to try to talk about, you know, creating purpose with product and,
Mhm.
you know, even to reinforce it with, you know, little gifts like a book like this to even give to a decision maker or something. I think it'd be great to expand the knowledge of what people know the purpose of product is. You know, I think that's a great tool that we could all even use, not only for our own teams, but for everybody, right? You know, just,
Steve, you gotta
Yeah.
go to my website, and at the
Okay.
bottom it says So Good Supply Company.
Yep.
You get a second, go out there and check those out. So what we did in Vegas at Expo last year was unlike anything I've ever, like, I don't know if anybody's ever done something like this.
Well,
but
last year as in 2020 or last year as in last year? 2019.
2019.
wait, we record this ahead of time. So are we
Yeah.
still, it's last year still 20?
Touche.
So we didn't go on. I never stepped foot on the show floor the entire time we were there.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I saw you in the basement of some.
So my belief is that if what I'm really trying to do is show my customer about that activation that happens, I don't need to tell them about that. I need the people who do the activation to tell them about that. So I hired a videographer and created a set, and I brought all of the supplier principals down and interviewed them about the give back work that they do. And I put those videos out on my website. So when I'm trying to convince a customer about buying something, I'm like, wait, you want to buy a piece of drinkware or do you want to support a veteran? And they're like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, go watch this interview about Patriot and Peter Hirsch. And there you go. Like,
Love it. Is this on the socialgoodpromotions.com website?
Yeah.
I have that open and I love that. I love how you put what the actual supplier is doing in correlation to what they're doing to giving back or what calls they stand for. I love that. We should talk after this. I definitely want to
so
help
for
and be
me,
part of it. Love it.
Meg, for me, the idea is like, when I go to a business, I want to sell them something, but the first thing I want to find out is what they care about. And if they care about something that I can then tie their brand to, game over, you win.
Yep.
Right? Instead of somebody calling you and saying, I need 144 pieces of drinkware, how much? No. That's not how we play the game now.
Right.
We play, like, I literally had a customer, I took straight to the end of the story. They fall in love with the idea and then they wanted a discount at the end. And my answer was, so the veterans don't get their homes fixed because you want a quarter cheaper. I'm like, no, you either buy it at the price I told you, or we're going to sell you a different tumbler that's a quarter less, and you don't get the benefit of the story. Like, you got to pay for that. That costs money. Those people are doing something, and if you want to support it, you got to do it at the price that it's supposed to be, right? And so we know that Social Good Promotions is not for everyone, and that's okay. I'm all right with it. Like, I don't want to sell to everybody. I want to sell to people who identify with what I'm talking about.
And this is why I love you, Roger. This is exactly, I mean, you're my spirit animal. I'm pretty sure. Everyone else that I've pulled out in the past, forget it. Roger's my new spirit animal.
Fair enough. So for those that are listening, Brandon Peckrich did post a link to the socialgoodpromotions.com website in the chat or in the comment section. So if you're listening to this in the audio version, or if you're checking it out later, that is in the comments for you to take a look at. So Roger, I'm sure you'll be getting some good volume and traffic coming that way. That's awesome. So check that out and sort of see where that's coming from. Julie Hoffmeister also chimed in, said Naughty Promo did one of these interviews and it was an amazing experience. Jeremy Picker chimed in, love it. Show them, don't just tell them. And you must be pretty good friends with Tim Hill because he's commented a lot. But yeah, just wanted to chime in and mention that in the comments as well. And then Roger, what can we do to sort of help you, or how do we utilize relationships that you have or that we have with PPAI to maybe get this book available for everybody that comes to the expo, if there is an expo?
So wouldn't it be grand if there was a education session during expo where we were going to talk about the Red Goldfish promo edition? Might already be going down.
Awesome.
Nice.
Is that already going down?
Already going down.
You
Could be a
signing
keynote.
books?
Make it a keynote.
Oh, and we'll have books for sure. No doubt.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we're actually kicking around the idea of having the event be a fundraiser for PPAI itself, because
Perfect.
I don't know if you recognize this, but our trade association is also struggling a bit because of what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
They've been so great to all of us for so many years that I feel like it's our turn to try to show the love back to them, because Paul and his team, right? I mean, think about our industry and the ways that they've been able to advocate on our behalf in ways that, like, for those of us like myself who have worked in other industries, there was no copier trade association taking care of us. Right?
Can you imagine if there was a group like the promotional products group and it was all like copier guys and they'd be like, you don't believe that guy bought that cheap paper.
Well, that's the thing. I think there's so much stuff that's actually happening behind the scenes that people don't even know about or don't even realize that they're doing, in our favor for advocacy, whether it's lead or, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to see where you're going with that.
Yeah. And I mean, let's love up on them, because they do great work. And, it speaks to my time as a volunteer. Many of us on this panel are longtime volunteers within the industry. And I guess what I'd say about that is this. I don't think I'm sitting here today co-founding Promo Cares, having been in Promo Kitchen, done any of the work that I've done for the regional trade associations and RAC. I mean, all of that stuff, all of that made me able to be as successful as I am today. And I'm so personally grateful that, to me, like, it just behooves all of us to try to give back to the association. And we've already been doing it, right? And so like, people will always be like, I don't have time for that crap. What is it really going to do for me? Those people are just trying to build their resume, blah, blah, blah. Not true. Not true. It may be true for some people, but if you come to it saying, like, I heard this guy come on Industry Insider and say that, like, I was going to be a better salesperson if I did this, then
it definitely helps you. It makes you put on a different hat other than your distributor hat or your supplier hat. And then you have to look at things in a different way and objectively. And then you learn so much. I mean, you learn from your peers, and it's a good opportunity. It doesn't become like a competitor situation, because I'm sure, I was on CPPA at Lead and SAGNY. I'm not anymore, but the younger crowd now is. And it's good because, Stephen gets to have lunch with Danny, and they're competitors, and they sit there and they collaborate on stuff and they talk, and that's how it should be. And it's people like them now that are just, it's what's making the industry grow and making it a better place. So we appreciate you, Roger, all the volunteers in this industry. You guys are what's making us tick.
Hey, Jeff, do we have a quick second? I had a question for Roger.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
How much time we have.
Yep.
So Roger, speaking to suppliers and distributors that haven't implemented any type of do good in their business practices, for someone just getting started, what type of recommendations or advice you'd give to maybe someone listening that's thinking about doing this? Because if we can inspire one more supplier, one more distributor, I think that's going to do great for the cause.
Yeah, I'm looking real quick. So what I would say is, in much the same way as 3 years of the So You're in Sales podcast has made me a better salesperson, that listening to the Promo Cares Radio podcast will get people really immersed in the stories behind what your peers are doing in the industry, right? And it's hosted by Carrie Cowden. It comes out every other Friday. So the next one is next Friday, the 21st. No, the 4th of July, 18th. 18th is the next one. But specifically, and maybe if I can
so this Friday, right?
Yeah, sorry.
Next Friday, but this Friday.
But yeah.
July 18th.
It doesn't matter.
Just leave it at that.
Yeah,
it'll be hot.
What you said. So there's an interview specifically between Carrie and Denise Tastro, who she like lays out the framework of if you were going to want to try to get started, that's the one to listen to, because she's literally giving you the how-to.
I definitely will. I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah,
Love to support
awesome.
other people.
And hopefully we can post that onto our piece as well.
It's called Uncover Your Hidden Company Purpose.
Ooh.
And it's got a picture of Denise on it. And between that is a highlight of AZPPA and a highlight on Refresh Glass. But I'm telling you, like, that Promo Cares Radio podcast doesn't get the love it deserves, because it is a knockout. There are so many things that you could learn. And to me, what all of this is about, and this is the thing I want people to think about, because don't start it if you don't believe it, because you can't do it. You'll get called out so fast. And in this woke world, don't.
Woke world.
Don't. But
do what I want.
If there's something that you care about, or if there's something that you're into, make that a part of your business and let people see it. And whatever it is, if you're into fly fishing, let it be people see that you're the person from your industry that's into fly fishing, because they'll buy from you.
Yep, Roger, I've been saying this, and I agree with you 100%.
Fly
Actually, this
fishing?
is part of my, yeah.
Oh, Meg, that's so cool. I didn't know you were into fly fishing.
No,
Yeah,
this is
she
part of
talks
my
about it every
speech
week.
for ScoopCon. I was like, find something you love and use it to motivate others, and people will buy from you because you're being yourself. People want
it's literally competitive differentiation. And isn't that what we're all seeking?
Yep.
Don't you want to be seen as not the same as everybody else? Well, you got to pick something. If you don't pick anything, how are you, like, people, I ask other distributors all the time, what's your target client? And they're like, oh, I sell to everybody.
Yeah, so I know we always tell people, like, you know, you've got to do something different to differentiate yourself. You're not just in a price war. And so, but we know there's very few times where I think people actually put that, or I guess, you know, put that into words or action, or how do you then do that, or, you know, how is that actionable? And it's like, I think that's an awesome illustration of how you do that, Roger. What you talked about is, you know, like when you first meeting with somebody, you're not really talking about the stuff, the swag. You're talking about, what do you care about? Mm-hmm. And I think that's just such a different, unique approach, you know, that you've done. So kudos to you and congratulations, because I'm sure that's worked out for you and will continue to work out for you, especially like you said, in this woke world.
It's about trust.
Yeah.
And what I saw was during COVID, during shelter in place, a lot of people doing things that were contrary to their relationship from a trust perspective. And what that felt like was, did you have anyone try to sell you something when you were freaked out about maybe you were going to get sick? People got hostile. Mm-hmm. And when they needed things, they either turned like, I need PPE. I don't care who you are. I just need it. Give it to me. Fine. But for anything else that they needed, the only people they were going to buy from were people they trust. And for me, what it revealed was, especially because our business was so new, was that we didn't have a lot of people trust us yet. But that was okay, because we didn't stop what we were doing. We just changed our activity to being more recognizing where we were in our trust relationship with the other person, and then doing everything we could to build more trust.
Sure.
So that when life came back to whatever this is going to be now, our phones and our emails started ringing and populating again, because people saw us as more trustworthy by virtue of the things that we were doing, which was consistent with what they needed at that moment. Right. And this is all about alignment, because we know who we are, right? It's very obvious who we are. I didn't have to worry about trying to be salesy. I could just be a helper, right? And Danny, the thing he kept saying during that period is the personality types broke down into three things: helpers, hoarders, and hustlers. And you had to know who you were, and you needed the other people, because I was a helper. So if I needed PPE, I was going to need a hustler to help me get that PPE. And if I didn't have a relationship with a hustler, I was going to have no sale, right? So by building those relationships and having trust, I give myself the best chance to be seen as competent and credible to prospects. And that's competitive differentiation, my friends. So I'm not saying everybody should do it this way or to be even aligned on purpose necessarily.
Right.
What I'm saying is find something to be aligned on and get to work getting in alignment on it and show your work. Show what you're doing so that people can see it. And then that's how you build the credibility that you need.
Yeah, that's really interesting because I know if anybody listens to Gary Vaynerchuk, obviously he talks about that a lot as well. Like that's in his messaging, you know, like do what you love, do what you care about. And like if it's, you know, if it's baseball cards, and be the number one baseball card guy in the world, you know, like show your passion, create you know, this, create that, and just be that person. And then you attract those like-minded people. It's not even necessarily, like you said, Roger, that you have to go out and sell. Like those people will be attracted to you. They'll find it, and then they'll purchase from you just because of the relationship and that you know, that pull, that magnetism. So that's really awesome. Any comments? Anything else that we want to try to cover today?
Roger, you have anything else? You're the guest of honor.
Remember, we said that, you know,
I know.
minutes on any. I mean, you know, clearly, I'm sure if you're watching or listening, you can sense my enthusiasm for what I do. You know, it doesn't feel like work to me. Writing the book was a big challenge, but I'm so grateful for having had the opportunity. And, you know, I think we have a chance as an industry to get ourselves on the right side of things again if we all work together. And Promo Cares has really tried to be at the front of that. And, you know, I guess as co-founder, it's like Danny and I have played kind of Pied Piper, but the fun part about it is people are attracted to what you do when they believe in the same thing. And so Promo Cares needs more hands. We need more volunteers. We need more people to help us with the mission of what we're doing, getting the message out about what everyone is doing. So my plea to all of you is like and share, comment, participate, be a part of the community. We all are inspired when we inspire one another. And I said, when I gave the keynote address on Education Day at Expo 2 years ago, if you surround yourself with inspiring people, eventually you'll be inspired. It's like osmosis. And that's what happened to me. And what I realized in writing the book was how many inspirational people I have surrounded myself with. And I think it's had a direct effect on my personality, on the way that I sell, on who I am as a person.
In your relationships.
And my life is richer as a result. I hope that the lives of the people that I'm around are richer as a result of my participation. And I approach that every single day that way. So if that sounds like something you'd be down for, the water is fine and the pool is open and there's all kinds of ways for you to participate. And if you want to come on the podcast and you have a story to tell about your own business, what an amazing piece of content to have at your disposal to then turn around and give out to your prospects to say, hey, if you want to know who we're about, you should hear this interview that Carrie Cowden did with me about what our company does to make the community a better place. So please.
So if somebody wanted to be a part of that, who do they reach out to for that?
Carrie Cowden.
Okay. Do you have an email address or a phone number or something for them?
If she's Facebook. Messenger, like she's on it. She is
Fair
there.
enough.
So I would say Carrie, that's the best way to find Carrie. She's in Arizona, so just be mindful of time zones and things. But
Sure.
but yeah, the stories are they're good stuff, and we want to tell yours too. Everybody.
Fair enough.
We got one, we want to tell it.
Fair enough. Well, listen, I know, you know, right now with the market, like Roger, there's a ton that we could talk about. I mean, we could go on for another half hour easily. We could talk about, you know, MIPA and your, you know, volunteerism with RAC and, you know, how you're volunteer of the year with RAC a couple of years ago. That's actually where I met you at LDW the year that you were awarded that. And I think that was actually the same. There you go. And I think that was actually the same year that that you guys launched Promo Cares and you guys had the t-shirts there. It was all at the same time. So it was really cool. So I'm really honored and privileged to know you. And, you know, just want to say thank you for being with us today. But again, you know, there's tons of stuff we could go on, Regional Strategic Foresight Committee and what we're doing to potentially, you know, change what we're doing through these times in particular. There's a ton of stuff that we could talk about. So listen, guys, I would highly encourage you to either reach out to Roger or to listen to the podcast, check out the book, go to the education session that he's going to be doing at PPI Expo, and just get as much information as you can, and do something that you care about for sure, and be that person, and create that differentiation as well. Now, I know if you're not selling PPE right now, there's one really other hot way of getting business right now. Do you guys have any idea what that might be? It's something to do with like kitting and fulfillment, right? Like we kind of talked about that, right? Yeah. So you know who could help you out with some kitting right now? A company by the name of TechWeld. So again, USA made in a world filled of worry regarding overseas products. TechWeld has many USA made products that can help separate themselves, or that help separate themselves from the promotional pack, and in turn doing the same for you. Now, listen, they are doing quite a bit when it comes to kitting. They've got this Come Kit Around With Us. It's a really cool initiative that to push kits. So they're actually already putting the kits together for you. So they've got 8 different stock packaging for their kits: the EVA bag, the PVC tent pouch, PVC tube organza bag, pillow pouch, the BTL 202 30-ounce tumbler, and a retro lunchbox. The retro lunchbox is awesome, actually, by the way. I've got a couple of those. Super cool. My kids love them too.
Awesome.
So listen, not many players in the industry are focusing too heavily on kits, which really allows them to sort of separate themselves in the marketplace. So definitely check them out, because it helps, certainly helps them expand upon their already vast kit line that they've got. So be sure to check them out at techweld.com for more information. Meg, Steven, any closing comments or concerns from yourselves?
No, I'm just super excited that Roger could come on today. I think it was a great message at a perfect time, and we really appreciate having you on today, Roger.
Yeah, it's great to meet you. Great to hear from you, and hoping to check out some of these awesome resources.
Yeah. Absolutely. So listen, Roger, I know you commented on my hair before we started the podcast, and I mentioned the beard. Okay. So I've got to give some love to Jeremy Picker right now, because he commented Jeff's beard is level 100. All right. See, there you go. Listen, I told you the beard is level 100, probably out of like 972 levels. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here, Roger. It was a pleasure. Can't wait to be face to face again at some point. Just looking forward to getting more involved. And I wish you all the best. And thank you for being with us today.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's good times, man. I appreciate all of you. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Take care.